So if you haven't heard by now, Xbox earlier announced that they're going to be putting up the prices of pretty much all their products. I wanted to talk about this because this has a big effect on the gaming industry as a whole. It's not just Xbox now. Sony will most likely follow through probably later this year. Now I'm gonna put up a list on the screen showing the different products that they put the prices up on. So the Xbox Series S, which is a budget console for those who don't want to spend the whole $500 on the Series X. $300 normally, they're putting it up to 380. The 1 terabyte version of the Series S, which was what, 350, they're putting it up now to 430. The Series X was $500 normally. They're putting it up to $600 now. I don't understand how you do that as time goes on, but they're doing it. Then you see here, there's a 2 terabyte version of the Series X, Galaxy Black, $730. I don't understand why that's more than a PS5 Pro, but okay, Xbox. Then you can go down on the list and see that they're increasing the price of their controllers and headsets and whatnot. Now, as I said before, this is a big deal for the gaming industry as a whole. Obviously, Nintendo kind of set this whole thing in motion with them increasing the price of their video games. Mario Kart's going to be $80, physical copy going to be $90. And since that point, we knew that the gaming industry would just follow along relatively soon. And Xbox just jumped at the chance to do it. They just put up the prices drastically for all of their products. Now, really, the main thing I want to talk about regarding this whole situation is this a good idea for Xbox? Now, I've said this before, I'll say it again. I'm not an analyst or anything. I don't know what the right moves are to make, right? Especially when it comes to increasing the price of your products. But increasing the price of your consoles when you're trying to move away from exclusivity as a whole. You're trying to get all of your games on as many platforms as possible, including PlayStation. Now, looking from the perspective of a consumer, right? What's the selling point of an Xbox? If you're going to put exclusives on the PS5 relatively soon, what's the point of getting an Xbox now more expensive than a PS5? Because if Microsoft is going to follow the same formula as they did with, let's just say, Indiana Jones, that game came out in December on Xbox, came out in April on PS5. So what, 4 or 5 months? As a consumer, why wouldn't you just wait a relatively short period of time to play that game on the PS5? Rather than buy a more expensive Xbox console when they're going to have everything on the PS5 relatively soon after. Not only that, but let's be honest here, PlayStation has better exclusives than Xbox. I don't really think people buy Xboxes just to play Halo or Gears of Wars anymore. I think those days are long past us now. I realize those are old franchises, they're not as poppin' anymore, right? But I think the point still stands. When you compare it to PlayStation, let's just take a game like The Last of Us or even Spider-Man, right? People have literally gone out to buy PlayStations just to play those games specifically. That's it. And especially with the fact that we know Xbox is going to be putting their games on PlayStation, why wouldn't you get the console with better exclusives? And those exclusives aren't going to be on Xbox. They might be on PC in a couple of years, but they're not going to be on Xbox. So yeah, that's kind of how I look at it. Again, I'm not any financial advisor or anything, so I could be missing something here, but from an outside standpoint, from the obvious, I guess, perspective, right? This doesn't seem like a good idea for Microsoft and Xbox. One more thing I don't think I've talked about is that they're going to be raising the price of some of their exclusives, right? So $70 to $80 now. And do you guys remember when some insiders or analysts were saying that people in the gaming industry were hoping that Rockstar would put GTA 6 at more than $70 just so they could increase the price of their games? It's so funny seeing that it wasn't even Rockstar to do it first. It was Nintendo out of all people. And now we see the residual effect. Xbox has in turn put up the prices of everything, not only their games, but also their consoles and other accessories. No doubt Sony's gonna follow through and doing the same thing. Ghost of Yotei pre-orders for that are supposed to come out tomorrow, so I doubt they're gonna change the price of that game. They already showed the prices and everything, so I doubt they're gonna change it. If they did, that'd be kind of crazy. Different level agreed, but yeah, I doubt they do it. But I think for sure games like Wolverine or even Spider-Man 2, which of course isn't coming out for a while, games like that, I think they're going to be $80 and up for sure. And of course, GTA 6, right? We've all been joking around talking about how the game might be $100. There was even talks that the game would be $150 at some point, which I think is a little overboard, but and it's funny because if anybody was able to do it, was like, I guess, allowed to do it, it would be Rockstar because we always know what they're going to put out with their games. But yeah, as always, let me know what you guys think of this whole situation. Unfortunately, I just, the whole gaming industry just changed as a whole once again. Prices of games are going to be even more now, right? Like games like Call of Duty, 2K, Madden, all those games that we get every year, going to be $80 and up for sure. And even first party games from Sony and Xbox, most likely starting next year, if not later this year for PlayStation, they're gonna be more than $70. Let me know your thoughts in the comments and like the video if you like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.